Buonasera, my name's Theodore, this is my brother Gabriel, and we're at Gabriel's on 40 Central Park South. A wonderful family business, our family business, making handmade pasta, meats, and wonderful Italian cuisines. However, Gabriel and I have been quite interested in wine lately, as we've been talking about here on our wine podcast. We'd like to welcome you guys to try the wonderful Pian dell'Orino with us, the Brunello di Montalcino. My brother and I have been talking about how to say this correctly.
Pian dell'Orino.
Obviously, his is better than mine.
It's okay. It's great.
Pronunciation. Yeah, this is a wonderful 2018 vintage, and my brother's certainly excited to talk about it.
Well, I mean, so I know a lot about this wine. In short, I did visit the Gaia, a couple different estates, Gaia, San Polo, in Montalcino, and I was talking to the head winemaker of Gaia, Brunello, who's become my good friend, and he said that one of the wines he's jealous of is Canalicchio del Sopra, which I've had before. The 2017 isn't my favorite. The 2018 Canalicchio is amazing. I'm glad we have that one on our list here. This one I am not the biggest fan of, though. I mean, I think that...
So you don't like this wine?
I don't like this wine. I for the price. I think it's a delicious wine. If I paid $48 for it, I would be amazed. But unfortunately, it's not $48. It's around $285 and probably going up. So I think that for me, this wine shows that 2018 was only kind to some producers. Lissini Brunello di Montalcino, one of the most widespread wines on a lot of different wine lists. Lissini, incredible for the 2018 for the price, I think. This wine, I think, because of the cool temperatures and the heavy rainfall, I think mildew and mold kind of took a lot of vineyards out of the biodynamic sphere because they had to engage a lot of fertilizer and chemicals to kind of combat what was happening due to increased water. Same thing as water in your in a leaky bathroom, you're going to get a little bit of mold. The same thing happens with vines. If you have prolonged periods of rain with cooler temperatures, it exacerbates the mold. So I think that it's not that I have a mold-like taste with this wine. However, I think it was challenging to this vintage was especially challenging to Pian dell'Orino. Maybe their location on the hill, a bad roll of the dice. To me, I'm finding that this wine is a great expression of the grape. However, I don't think that it is worth what its asking price is at the present moment.
Yeah, I mean, that story is pretty interesting, and it does kind of smell pretty interesting as well.
What do you think on the nose, Theo? Take us away.
It's a complex scent. Now that you give me that story, aroma-wise, it is inviting, though. It kind of reminds me more of and maybe that's where that moldy scent comes from, like an older library.
Almost like mint leaves. Like when you have mint leaves in your refrigerator and they've kind of gone a little bit sideways, but there's still some that are salvageable. That's like a little bit of mint leaf.
Yeah,
what else
and
are you
then
picking up?
You do get a little bit of a crushed stone kind of, but it is a little floral, some light floral scents, almost smells like a dried strawberry. Not quite a fully strawberry, but a dried strawberry, something, and maybe that's why.
Like a freeze-dried strawberry and an orange and I totally
not
get
really
that.
The fruit scent that you really ideally want in a wine, but
still there, still layered
interesting.
in the aroma for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's still that
Brilliant
value
description.
in it. Yeah,
brilliant description.
I think at least.
I mean, I think this wine is elegant. I just think that it has a little bit too much forest floor in the wrong direction. I find San Polo Reserva that we have on the list to be absolutely incredible. And we did a Vigna Vecchia.
Another Brunello di Montalcino.
Yeah, another Brunello di Montalcino. That one, I think, is a little bit more of a classic Brunello in that it has structure, it has tantalizing tannin. And I think that one really has the element of, really has an element that Beyond a Sandy really masters it too in their Brunello, where it has...
Or what about the Gaia Santa Restuta?
I think Gaia Santa Restuta is amazing. It is elegant. It is lighter. I would say that's almost like
less expensive,
medium full rather than this one that's full. And I think that full-bodied wines have a lot to give. And this one tells a story that I love. However, I'm not personally.
With the year.
With my money, I would never buy this on a list unless it was maybe a 2016, which is, of course, the best vintage ever. Anything I see for 2016, I would buy. But 2018 Pian dell'Orino, I liked it. I didn't love it. I'll say that. I'm gonna give one thumb up. I'm gonna give this.
I mean,
a
it's
solid,
Brunello.
yeah.
I always find Brunello's amazing.
Yeah, me too. But this one I want to be more amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's just like there's so many, all the other Brunellos out there are so amazing
yeah.
that it's really hard to keep up.
In this
And then
vintage.
in this vintage, and then to be charging a price like this is kind of hard. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of competition for Brunello. Not like the tequila sphere, but there is, people kind of coming in, people coming out. There's a lot of earth movement going on in Montalcino, I can tell you firsthand. There's a lot of, adaptation to everything from the climate changing in that region to trying to make wines more elegant. And I think that
I get an orange zest flavor.
definitely,
As well.
definitely, yeah, like a little orange zest, something from like a dessert or something like that. I think that this one is a great Brunello. However, I could put 3 to 4 Brunellos in the lower price range than this that I would happily buy for myself before. And we were
What do you
very
think,
familiar.
this or the Poggio Alto Brunello di Montalcino?
This, for sure, it would be better than the Poggio Alto. The Poggio Antico, no. The white label, Poggio Antico, which I know is unrelated to Poggio Alto, which is a blue label.
But they're just right next to each other.
They're similar on our list, so we always put them together. I think the Poggio Antico white label, definitely I would go over this, and the Poggio Antico black label, the Reserva, I
But
would
not the
definitely go
Il
over this.
Poggione?
I don't really like the Il Poggione, personally, or the Reserva. I find the two indistinguishable.
Yeah, I don't see people get it again.
I had a 2015.
But people
Il
like this.
Poggione.
People like this brand. People
People like this, and also people don't know it. People, as much as they like it, they don't know it. It's Pian dell'Orino. It's famous in Italy, but is it famous in America? No, it's not. But that's what we do here. We educate people about producers, and we care about the word on the street, even in Montalcino. And that's really the lengths that we go to make our wine list as, special as possible. We're not just taking deals on cases of wine. We're going to Montalcino. We're going to the wine tastings. We're tasting every single vintage before we put it on the list. We're not putting anything that's bad on the list. You know what I mean? So this
are
is
trying
great.
to.
And we're trying
you
to
never
do
know.
something
You
cool.
could buy a case of something. It's it
goes
4
sideways.
cases, and then one of the bottles is corked. Obviously, we'll replace it with another bottle. But
Anyway, to
everything
food pairing with
happens.
this wine, I would safely put this with our grilled lamb chops, and I would even put this to hold up with like a meat and cheese plate in the beginning, and it would be lovely. Absolutely, mortadella, mozzarella, prosciutto would be incredible. So that's what I would pair it with. It is elegant, but
Do you know what would be really nice with this? Actually, not something that we have though, is like a really aged cheese. A moldier cheese would be amazing.
absolutely.
Would really bring this wine, I think, around. I think that because I'm trying to. How does this wine work?
Yeah.
It works in like a really deep set.
Of course,
Gruyere,
a Fiorentina,
cheese
a large
board.
Fiorentina.
I don't even, because the floral notes. I wouldn't love to like buy an expensive steak and get this bottle.
You
of
want
wine.
something a little chewier?
I want something like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this one.
Well, it is a treat for us, regardless of
Yeah, we're happy to have
regardless of my critique. It still is amazing to have a Sangiovese in this way.
And I love Brunellos over anything. Like, I would rather take this over a cab
Of course.
any day over this price.
over domestic cab.
So we're talking like, within this category, it's not doing well, but,
Anyway.
Cabernets, Pinot Noirs.
Right. I had a really lovely Pinot Noir the other night. It was a Burgundy. I mean, I think that for 2018
The Burgundies.
Brunellos, they're more Burgundy tasting than more than usual. But anyway, that's kind of all the time we have here at Gabriel's Bar and Restaurant. So
Thank
we would
you
love
so
to see you
much.
guys. Thank you guys for tuning
love
in.
to see you.
We appreciate it.